The PA department is studying the use of the iPads as we move forward with the implementation by various methods. We do surveys of our students to see what apps they're using for on the iPad. We also utilize the surveys to get feedback from the students on e-textbooks that we may have them access. And then we look at other programs so we can try to implement as many resources, many ways to implement technology into our PA curriculum.
So back in 2010, the department decided to go with a modular curriculum for our medicine course. Since then, we've tweaked the course back and forth from year to year, and it's worked out pretty well. When we brought the iPads on full in class of 2011 and 2012, it really helped to utilize the iPads and make sure that the curriculum, this modular curriculum that we went with, really worked and was very flexible with the iPads. So what I mean by that is, first we had to decide how we're going to deliver so much information and content to students all at once, and it was a very good idea to flip the classroom. So what we did in essence was to make sure that we do some of our lecturing on Tegrity, which we use the Tegrity app to access those particular lectures and then place them on our learning management system, Blackboard. And that's been very effective to ensure that students do the learning process on their own outside of class before they come into class, where at that point we go through case studies and really facilitate the learning process with students. And they access any of the materials that we gave them through their iPad in class when we're working together as groups or in teams. So the iPad really has been very essential in helping that process. The other thing that we did in that process as well was we have partnered with McGraw-Hill, a very commonly known publisher for medical textbooks, and have something called Access Medicine through our library. So students are able to access more than 300 textbooks that we use, and we actually have our faculty look through that set of textbooks and decide which of those textbooks would be appropriate to use in their courses for their teaching. And so some of our assignments and reading assignments come from those particular books, so students can access that right on their iPad anywhere they're at, whether on campus or at home. So that's been really an asset. The other thing that we've done with the curriculum in order to really fit innovation and fit technology has been this year we partnered with the ExamSoft company and their app, specifically SoftTestM, to utilize that to assess students in written form. So they take all of their exams on iPad at this point exclusively. So gone are the days when we had written exams, when we had to print out copies, when we had Scantrons and having to do test analysis and item analysis with Scantron and Scantron reports. Now we do everything online after students have taken their exam on the ExamSoft app or the SoftTestM app that is produced by ExamSoft. And it makes it just a lot easier for the students to have one place to get all of their exams. And these exams, the best part of it is these exams can be delivered securely. And we don't have to worry about the content of the exams getting out. We don't have to worry about security of exam questions. And also, we can utilize the app to help students review their exam once they've taken it. So they can get back in there and review the questions that we gave them and see what they got right, what they got wrong, and really make the learning process come full circle.
Some of the successes that we have is now that we have the Apple TV set up in most of our teaching classrooms and labs, the faculty can come in with the presentation on their iPad, pull out the Apple TV, project it on the screen, and give access to our students and show them how to do procedures on that. Lectures are also available. The students themselves can hook up to the Apple TV and do projections on presentations that they're doing.
Our department has purchased Apple TV devices for all of the TVs in each of our classrooms, lab spaces, and conference rooms. And we actively use these on a daily basis as we are teaching in the classroom. We connect our iPads with our presentations on there. Additionally, when our students start the program, we give each student their own iPad so that they can use that throughout their didactic year when they're taking classes as well as when they're off on their clinical rotations. Because we have the Apple TV in each of the rooms, our department is actually given room preference when the university is assigning classrooms to specific classes that are being scheduled. Because we use the Apple TV with each of our lectures and each of our class activities, we now have a designated classroom space for our program, which is very unusual on our campus.
It's a very flexible environment. They're able to communicate through FaceTime. They're able to work through presentations together, specifically through case studies in the classroom. It's a really neat environment. They're able to create together and work through case studies, either individually and together.
So what I like about the iPad is the ease of being able to study anywhere I want. I could go and travel if I'm on a flight or if I'm at the airport, going back to visit my family, I could just pull up my iPad. I no longer have to carry my computer or my books around with me.
One of my favorite things about the iPad is that I have several apps that I use religiously. Every day I'm using either iAnnotate, I'm using iBooks, or I'm using Notability. I also use iTunes to listen to recordings, and another thing I like is that I can get on Wi-Fi, get on the internet, and there's also a lot of apps that I can use that I don't need internet, which I can do that as well.
Okay, so as an undergrad, I always utilized papers, highlighters, pens, and pencils. Now with the transition of the iPad, I'm able to go ahead and use various apps with the touch of a button. My favorite app would be iAnnotate because I'm able to bring different books, convert various PowerPoints into PDF, and I'm simply able to do my note-taking during class. I'm able to highlight, underline, and type any notes that I want in addition to, so I can't see myself learning without it.
In addition to using the iPads in the classroom, we as faculty use them individually to keep up with our day-to-day teaching activities, our meetings, and so forth. For example, we have a departmental calendar established on iCal so that all faculty members can insert meetings, classes, advisements with students so that we all know what is coming up, where each faculty member is. This has really become beneficial. The larger that our program has become, the more faculty members that we hire. This has been especially useful. We also use OneDrive at our university, and that has been phenomenal for us. So instead of constantly asking each other, do you have this file? Can you send me this? We have all of our departmental forms, we have recruiting information, we have Excel files that we routinely use. Everything is uploaded into OneDrive, and we can all access that from our iPads, whether we're at work or at home. Another advancement that we are expanding into is using iTunes U. We are starting to consider and attempt to put some courses, all the course materials in iTunes U so that all the students can access that as well. We are also in the process of writing an iBook that is not necessarily just for our students, but also for graduates as well, that is on infectious disease so that we can have the most current information out there for our students and our graduates. With our professional development, we actively seek new ways to engage technology in education. With the generation of students that are coming into college now, most of them are very tech savvy and have grown up with the internet and with computers as everyday devices that are present in everyone's home. So we have been searching for new ways to engage these newer, younger learners. We use our iPads on a regular basis in every single course. We as faculty are learning how to use those, and we have an Apple Distinguished Educator on faculty, and he is our go-to person for the latest in the technology as far as advances, new programs, new devices, and he routinely offers training not only just to our faculty, but faculty in other departments as well.
The measurement of success, it comes basically looking at the progression, academic progression of our students. So we have a 3-year review of how students were academically progressing without the iPad. Now that we've had the iPad, we're going on our 3rd year. So now we have some data that we're looking at, reviewing and comparing the before and after kind of picture, and we're seeing that our students who have had access to utilization of the iPad are now improving academically. You know, before we've had students that were not doing well in certain classes. Now we have students that are doing much better academically, and we're having to have the technology that we're implementing as a method of success that we can say has been very helpful for us.
This has been a fantastic partnership and example of the value and impact that a program can have on a college and an institution. The physician assistant program's efforts to be state-of-the-art in the use of technology in their classrooms was seen as a very, very positive development on behalf of the college and the institution. So there has been, I think, very strong support from the president, from the provost, and certainly at the college level, because we see how this benefits our students. We see how it puts the University of Texas Pan American on the map nationally and even internationally. And of course, we see the tremendous leadership role our faculty is providing. So I think it's fair and accurate to say there's been very, very strong support all the way up and down from the president to the college level. I think to answer that question, it's important to consider a minute the literature on innovation. And one thing that we learn from that literature is the importance of having a champion. If you want to introduce something that's new and innovative and creative, it's important to have somebody who gets out in front and shows the way and sets the example. And that's what the physician assistant department has done for our college and really the university and the entire community. With this use of technology, they have led the way. They have been the example, and we've seen the interest. And a very classic and powerful example is our new medical school, which will begin officially in September of 2016 when we have our first group of students. They have already committed to issuing every new medical student iPad, just as a physician assistant program has done, and incorporating that into our Academy for Success, which was developed by our physician assistant program. So it's had a huge impact on the institution and certainly on the college.